All right, welcome back. Today we're getting into one of literature's most fascinating and honestly terrifying characters, the one and only Blanche de Cominges. We're going to really break down the mind of a true predator. Let's just jump right in with this quote. She is ice wrapped in velvet. That just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that beautiful, smooth, polished exterior and the absolute chilling coldness at her core. She's got all the charm in the world, but don't kid yourself. It's all calculation. So, to really get what makes her tick, you gotta start with the surface, right? That brings us to our first section, the predator in silk. This is all about the face she shows the world. Okay, so think about the world of this book. It is just filled with people in this fever dream, right? They're desperately chasing luck, chasing illusions, chasing love. But Blanche? No. She is totally different. She operates with the cold, clear logic of a shark. She doesn't hope for things, she evaluates them. And she never, ever chases. She just takes. So let's peel back that first layer and see what's really going on underneath. This brings us to Section 2, Emotional Bookkeeping. And that subtitle says it all, the currency of cruelty. This idea is absolutely central to understanding her logic. And here is her entire worldview, laid out right here. For Blanche, love, affection, that's not a feeling, it's a service. Which means her cruelty isn't personal, it's just professional. There's no hate, there's no malice when she cuts someone loose. It's just business. The account's empty, so the service gets shut off. It is that simple and that brutal. And this is such a critical distinction to make. See, when she's sweet to someone 1 minute and just ice cold the next, we see it as being two-faced, right? As hypocrisy. But in her mind, it's nothing of the sort. It's just bookkeeping. A payment was made, so the love service was active. The money runs out, well, the contract's expired. It's not deceit, it's just a transaction that is now ended. So why? Why does she think this way? What's the psychological engine that's driving this incredibly ruthless transactional view of other people? Well, that brings us right to Section 3, the narcissist's logic. And there it is. She's described as a perfect narcissist. Think of it like a finely tuned, high-performance engine that is built for one thing and one thing only, self-interest. There are no breaks. There is no guilt, no nagging conscience, not a single second thought to slow her down. It is just pure, frictionless efficiency in the service of herself. You can basically boil down her whole operating system to these 3 parts. First, her desires are super simple and they're all external. Money, status, pleasure. No complicated inner life here. Second, her sexuality has nothing to do with passion. It's capital. Her body is an asset, probably the most reliable stock in her portfolio. And third, guilt, it doesn't compute. It's a useless emotion in a world that's only governed by profit and loss. All right, let's zoom out for a second, because this one character actually represents something way, way bigger. Section 4, Russia Dreams, France Invoices. This is where Blanche stops being just a person and becomes a symbol. This table just perfectly captures the huge symbolic fight at the heart of the novel. On one side, you've got Russia. These characters driven by soul, by passion, by these huge romantic delusions. And on the other side, you've got Blanche, representing France, the polished, mercenary predator. It's a clash between a calculated appetite and these fevered dreams. And in her world, guess what? The invoice always comes due. The dream doesn't stand a chance. Okay, so this brings us to the final, and I think the most important point. Why are we still so completely captivated and horrified by a character from the 19th century? That brings us to Section 5, our terrifying secret fantasy, the mirror to modernity. This is why she still feels so relevant today. Of course, she's a nightmare. We all have that fear of being used and thrown away by someone like her, but she's also a secret fantasy. Just imagine it for a second. The absolute freedom of never having to care what anybody thinks about you. Never saying sorry, never pretending. It's a terrifying thought, but there's a part of it that's undeniably seductive, isn't there? And don't think she's just some historical figure. Just look around. Her DNA is everywhere today. I mean, she is the direct ancestor of these modern figures who have basically perfected the art of the transactional relationship, where affection comes with a very clear and unapologetic price tag.
So what are we left with? Well, it's this incredibly provocative question. Blanche is so scary because she just rips away all the pretty, sentimental language we use to talk about our relationships. Her brutal honesty makes us look in the mirror and ask a really uncomfortable question about our own lives. And that thought, it stings. And it's exactly why she's one of the most unforgettable characters ever written.